to a guide that I'm going to be making here for TA. This is going to be a pretty in-depth guide. I will be doing it live on stream as well. We're currently live. Probably not a lot of people here though, should only be the lurkers. But this will be a in-depth guide to TA from me, a guy who plays a shit ton of TA. So let's get to it. So first of all, I've been tryharding a lot lately, and I've been using TA primarily to get my solo MMR up. You can see a lot of solo TA games. So right now I'm at 7,200, trying to get to 8K using mostly my good heroes, which TA is, you know, it is undoubtedly my best hero. This is the success that I've been having lately, running the build that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. These are all solo, well, almost all of them, all the games you can see here at least, are solo games at 7+ K MMR. And as you can see, it's winning me a shit ton of games. So trust me when I say I found something pretty effective. So, first of all, I want to talk about when to pick TA. What is your goal with picking TA? If your goal is only to win games, then you should be pretty careful. You should probably not pick TA into some matchups like Queen. You shouldn't pick it against Viper. You shouldn't be picking it against Jakiro ever. Huskar is scary as well. Razor is hard to deal with. Sniper is tough. There are many heroes that pretty much counter you on TA. But if your goal is not to win every single game, if your goal is to get better at playing TA, I recommend playing these matchups and learning them. Learn how to counter a Queen with TA on lane, learn how to win against a Viper with TA on lane, and learn how to play against a Sniper. I'm not gonna say win against a Sniper because he's a very tough matchup. But there are things you can do anyway. I'm just gonna bring up my chat on the other window so I can see if people are coming in at least. Nice to not be ignoring everyone. Cool. So first of all, make sure that you know what your goal with picking TA is. If you want to win, avoid these heroes and try to last pick. Indicate that you're going mid, say that you're going mid, and try to last pick TA. That's going to be the best for winning. So I wanted to talk straight off the bat about something that I feel is very relevant. I've made a guide to TA previously. It was roughly 16 minutes long, and I talked about itemization in that one. And I would like to go back and say a lot has changed. They touched up on refraction and blink daggers interaction. So if you block damage with refraction, you can actually blink, which is massive. This is insanely big. This makes it so the drums, the Face Boots drums Yasha build that was so popular by me, by Dragon Fist, by a lot of good TA players in general, is starting to fade out in my opinion. It's not the best build anymore. It still farms really fast, don't get me wrong, but the threat of killing enemies is a lot lower, and you also become more predictable in your movement. The enemy can easily see, oh, there's a TA, she's super fast, and she has side traps. That is scary, but I'm gonna back off because I see her and I can stay at a safe distance. If you have a blink dagger, that's not the case. At the point when they see you, you could be on top of them, melt striking them. So it's very different. I'm just gonna start up one of my games here. It doesn't really matter too much which one because I'm doing similar things in every game. Let's see which game this is. Okay. Yeah, let's start this game up. I'm playing against a 6.1k Tinker on the mid lane, so he's a good player for sure. And Tinker is a hero that's not picked so often anymore, so it's a bit gimmicky, but I'm not starting this to talk about the game in particular. I want to talk about my style of playing TA from the mid lane. So first of all, I really enjoy getting Radiant. Radiant is a lot easier to play TA on, if you ask me, because you have very close distance to just from farming here on the lane, running up and stacking and checking rune. This takes you about 8 seconds to run from here to here, and then you can stack. So Well, it depends exactly where on the lane you are, of course, and whether you have boots or not. But just to give you an idea, you can definitely reach this if you're on the lane at 40. So make that run. Whereas if you're laning on Dire and you're here at 40, well, you might make it all the way here. You're gonna be here right at like 53, 54, and you might miss your stack. So first of all, that's much more risky. And second of all, you're running way further away from your tower. If you're TA against some heroes, you want to stay close to your tower for safety early on in the game, because that's when you're weak and susceptible to ganks. I'm just gonna speed up this replay a little bit. So the lane goes as it goes. He lasers me to keep me from CSing, and I only get so much, but I actually get lucky and find a haste rune. Rune control is super important on TA. If the enemy is pre-checking runes and holding them, then you're gonna be very sad. Axe was late though, and he couldn't get there in time, so I actually knew that I was gonna get there first, at least faster than the Tinker. Turns out I can't kill Axe on the tower, who'd have known. Pretty tanky hero. So from this stage on, we don't have too many last hits, but same goes for Tinker. He's 8 for 4, I'm 7 for 3. It's what happens on a mid lane where Tinker and TA meets each other. They both get pretty low last hits. I believe that I'm going to be stacking a lot very shortly, like, because this matchup, okay, I can't stack too much because he pushes with March, but my idea is in the back of my head all the time. I want to go here and stack, but I don't want to miss my timing on the lane. If he pushes the lane, you have to defend it. Tinker is pretty unique in this regard, that he can push so extremely hard with March, so you have to pay attention to the individual hero you're laning against, and play accordingly, of course. But as soon as I can handle all this creep pushing, the main concept of playing TA mid is to farm Ancients. I want this message to get across. The main idea is to farm Ancients. People will counter this a lot. They will go here and put sentries, or go there and put a ward. Hell if I know. You can deward that quite easily by putting a sentry on this side. It should find most of the wards, and if not, you can put one here that's gonna reveal the remaining ones as well. I believe there is a hiding spot here as well that you can do, but the Ancient is worth unblocking. Just one pack of sentries is 200 gold, and one Ancient camp, well, they're about 300 gold each, so you definitely want to keep your Ancients ready. Of course, the best camps for farming fast would be the Dragons and the Ancient Thunderhides, because they die the fastest to TA. But Thunderhide is kind of annoying. When you're stacking this, you need to be careful. I'm gonna see if I run here and stack again. Oh yeah, Tinker runs in to try and block, but he failed micros. So when you stack Thunderhides, try and run up and face tank. You could attack as well, but look at what I'm doing. I'm just running in, tanking, and running away. You can use Refraction to minimize the damage you take, but this way you're gonna get the stack much easier. Why is that? If you attack and the Thunderhide attacks you, he will proc his Frenzy, which is very annoying. Because if he procs the Frenzy and you're already pulling the other creeps, sometimes he just stays there and doesn't do anything. So he's gonna fail your pull. I can probably find some example of that later on. This is gonna be quite a long video. So that's just a hint. Try and do that. As for how many stacks you want to do before you start farming it, as you saw, I put a few punches on it already because I had Refraction up and I wanted to get the damage on. Here at 38, I might just wait all the time till the new stack. You can get 4 or 5 stacks quite comfortably on Ancients. Unless you're doing something wrong, you should be able to do that. On the Dire side, you can get quite a lot of them as well now after they patched and fixed. This stack would have worked if it wasn't for this guy running in. So this made me very mad, you know. This is efficiency lost. He ran in, pulled the aggro. I'm pinging him like an angry butthurt mid laner. Anyway, I decided that it's time to farm it, I think, very soon. But first, of course, when the lane pushes, you need to respond to that. Always get the lane experience. It's so much gold that it's gonna be there temporarily, and then it disappears. If you don't take it, it's going to be gone forever. Ancients, however, as long as you have this trap, you can know if they go there to try and steal it. I know if Axe is going to try something. Axe can't even kill it this early. He's way too squishy. So Lina actually ran there and placed a ward, but we saw that. Again, this doesn't matter too much. I'm just going to speed up. I'm not trying to evaluate this game in particular. Okay, here I eat one tree, because in my opinion it's a little bit easier to stack if you cut down these trees. Then they will run faster down south, and as you saw, we got the stack, we got one more Thunderhide. So this is actually a quad stack right now. Quad stack is very good. When you want to farm it, pull it down like this, form a straight line, and if you have a straight line, you can farm that really easily as TA. Always try and attack the targets that is closest to you. To be more exact, you should be attacking the ones with lower armor as well, but sometimes, you know, we just hammer on the 8 armor golem because efficiency. This farming on Ancients gave me a 930 Blink Dagger after having a Tinker on my lane, which denies a lot of my farm. Just to give you a perspective of how farmed you can get doing this. It's extremely important. Okay, so this game, I pretty much showed everything I want in this game. Next, I want to be talking a little bit more about itemization. I'm gonna start up another game while I do that, please. So I said earlier, I quickly touched the fact that the old build would be to go for drums and Yasha along with face boots, of course, and just running people down, chasing them with your high movement speed and killing them. And you farm ridiculously fast, having all that stats, you know, all them stats and so much agility. But Blink Dagger farms almost as fast. It's very cheap. It farms almost as fast because you can blink from camp to camp. Also, you can stay pretty safe having Refraction up and Blink Dagger. Very few heroes can kill you. Because you can always blink away. Even if you stand farming in the jungle, a Sven turns the corner, stuns you out of nowhere, and starts punching you, he's got to get through at most 4 refraction charges. If you had 6 when he went on you, you can safely blink away. So there's a really strong side to having the Blink Dagger. Sure, if you had a Yasha, drums, whatever, you can run away, you would say, but blinking away is sometimes much more reliable as people will try and hunt you down. They won't always be alone. Sorry for coughing. So I'm gonna show you this game. This is a game where I last picked TA. As I said, right now I want to win really badly. I already practiced almost all the matchups there is for TA. I have practiced all of them. And I can safely say that I'm just trying to win right now. So last picking makes a lot of sense. I don't know if he had the last pick or if I did. Anyway, yeah, he picks Queen. It doesn't deter me. I've played the Queen matchup so many times this month. You have no idea. There's been a lot of Queen pickers lately. Give me just 1 second and I'm gonna show you something just to give you an idea of why I don't mind the Queen. Win rate against here. Let's use Dota buff to get some visual on this. So I played against 35 Queens lately and I won 71% of my games against Queen. That is really comfortable. And that's mostly me picking TA into a Queen as well. I have an even higher win rate against TA, but that's understandable because I know how the hero functions. I know her weakness. A lot of in-game talking, I'm sorry about that. So this game I wanted to talk about more specific execution because this Queen is a 6.7k player. He's really good. And playing TA against it is difficult. So let's start off with itemization. You need Wraith Band to last hit harder. Some people are going to be like, oh, but why not Bottle? I need Bottle to get mana and regenerate because I take too much damage from his Shadow Strike. He probably has a Sentry. They always do. How do I deal with this? Well, first of all, the block is super important. I sort of lose my block here, but not really, because my range creep is first and it will die first. First thing I do is skill Psyblades. This is situational, but let's say it like this. If you're good at playing TA, you should always skill Psyblades on level 1. Refraction isn't gonna save you much against the harass of Queen. It will protect you from 3 damage instances, but she pops damage instances so fast, and with Psyblades you can mess with her positioning and actually deal damage onto the Queen, which is very important. Else she's gonna play like there's no care in the world. Now, messing up the block on level 1 hurt me a bit, because going down and fighting here is tough. But as I said, I didn't fully lose it, because my range creep went first, died, and now his wave is pushing. Granted, he is out CSing me really hard, so this is gonna be a tough game. I did say, Queen pretty much is a counter to TA, and this guy is a good player, but now, every single time I go for a last hit, I'm trying to align with the Queen. He only has 1 tango. Look at his HP. It's going really low. He's 200 gold away from bottle. Suddenly, his comfortable lead on this lane is starting to diminish. He has 150 HP. I'm still trying to get Psyblades onto him. Sadly got a miss there. I think it could have aligned. And we will get some chance to catch up in CS because of his timing here. He has a timing where he won't be too tanky, and I can be pretty aggressive. 2 levels into Refraction now is gonna help me. He puts down the sentry. I don't even bother going for melds against Queens anymore, because they always have sentry. If they have sentry, there's no point. You can maybe juke it once, but having a point in sentry on this lane is just really not gonna help you. So 2 minutes in, we had Leshrac checking the top rune, and no one else was there, so I'm just gonna go and pick it, trying to get my bottle. You can tell that I'm gonna be late for my bottle as well, but I had 7 tangles, because they gave me 3 shared tangles. So with all these tangles, I can actually stay high HP against Queen, even despite all the harass and tanking her shadow strikes. But the most important thing on the lane is always to line up to Psyblade. That is the primary focus. I'm getting my bottle now. I want to back and pick it up anyway, so might as well stack the big camp for myself. Some of you might ask, oh, why not stack the Ancients? But I didn't want to run up here with low HP, low mana, tank some hit from the Ancients and get even lower. So I'm going for the big stack. It's fine too. There's plenty of gold to be had there. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna skill 2 points in Psyblade on this lane. I got 2 nice Psy attacks on him there. Look at his HP, it goes down really low all the time. Psyblade hurts. I put 2 points into Psyblades, and this is something very different from what everyone else does. I'm sorry if I said point in sentry, whatever. It's, you know, I slipped, doesn't matter. So I put 2 points in Psyblades. Why do I do this? Because it doubles your auto attack range. Doubles. So it's not just that you get a ranged attack at first level, then you double the range to 120, which may not seem like much, but it really helps you align to get that angle. And the split range is also kind of nice, but that's not the primary focus of this. The primary focus is that you don't have to run really close to a creep and make it obvious that you're trying to Psyblade someone. You can stand at a pretty comfortable distance with 2 points. Some people argue that, oh, but don't have point in meld now, you can't kill people that easily. I never really had a problem of killing people when I do get my Blink Dagger, even with 2 points in Psyblades. Also, if you're not an expert at TA, you might be fucking up some of your meld strikes simply because you're not as close as you thought you were. And you will miss your meld strike due to not having the range. So that is very important to note. I already stacked this once now. I'm gonna go back and stack the big camp once again. Since I have a double stack there, might as well use it. We're doing a bottle run as well because staying high mana is important. Just hit it at 53 and pull back. You're gonna get the stack. And this again gives me a lot of gold. So on this lane against Queen, he has 12 denies and he's doing a good job. He's really, you know, he's really doing everything that I believe a Queen should be on this lane. But when I pull into jungle like this and start farming, it's not something he can stop. He can't single-handedly stop me from getting farmed right now. And I'm getting very close to my face boots. When I have face boots, I can easily run into jungle, stack the Ancients, and keep farming the lane, get very fat. So my goal is just to pull ahead in economy. That's really your primary focus. I put down a side trap, realized that his sentry's still up. I thought it might have run out by now. It has not. 43, I realized I should be going and stacking the Ancients. It is again the old Thunderhide Lizards, so same idea again. Run close, face tank it, run away. That is the most guaranteed, you know, most safe way to stack the Ancient. This may seem like I'm just talking about one single game here in specific, and like this only applies to this matchup, but that's not the case. This is a general style. This is how you would play against most heroes. Queen is just harder. If you're playing against something like a Storm, SF, anything like this, you can stomp them. You can get much more farm in the lane, and you can also stack jungle. You should be hitting your face boot timing much faster against them as well, which is nice. Anyway, let's move on to late game itemization, because you have seen my early game style now in 2 different games. I just wanted to give you a hint of how to play it on lane. Once again, go into the Ancients. Don't mind that it's 6 minutes in. You can stack and farm this. It goes really easily. I'm going to use several tangles here, I think, to make the pull easier. Wonder if I do. I can't remember. Yes. Cutting the tree line makes the creeps run further down and you get to stack. So, itemization for the mid-late game. The early game, I already mentioned. Wraithband first, bottle is a given, face boots is a must. Some people suggest the treads to me now, since I'm going for my next item, the blink dagger, every single game now. Treads are good with blink, but face boots are simply too good up till the point where you get your blink. And even when you have the blink, I have seen how useful it can be to you. So I am still going for it. I'm gonna upgrade to Aquila here, which is situational. I wouldn't say I always do this, but Aquila is pretty strong and I'm getting it in majority of my games. The mana regen helps you a lot. The armor is more than welcome, and you can be a little bit more sustainable in lane farming. Also doing bottle runs, even now 9 minutes in, trying to get as much mana as possible. But let's skip ahead to the point where we have our blink. So when you have blink on TA, you can really turn on the aggression, you know? You don't need more points in Sideblaze, by the way. You need to get Melt maxed out after 2 points. But when you have blink, you can farm aggressively because you know you can refract and blink away if anything starts turning sour. And you can still farm so aggressively as well. It just increases the speed at which you work. So blink is, in my opinion, required right now. Next item, though, is a little bit tougher to say. It would make a lot of sense to go BKB against some lineups. This one, maybe not so much. They have a lot of physical, pure, or more physical damage, really. So against them, maybe not BKB rush. But I would never rush BKB. After the Blink Dagger, get Desolator. You need the Desolator because it's so important for TA. Minus armor is amazing. Works so well with your refraction, having physical damage. And it's simply too good to pass up. If you have a Desolator and Blink Dagger, you can melt Rubik. You can go on kill the Dazzle in 2 hits. Like, you could possibly kill Rubik in 1 hit, even without having crits available. So Desolator is what I'm working for next. Your normal timing for that should be around, I would say, 17 to 22 minutes. Anything between that is, well, okay, let's say 19 to 23 minutes actually. Anything between that is a normal timing. You should be having it around that time. And if you're playing against a good TA, you should be expecting her to have it around that time as well. Wow, he TP'd out there. If you have it faster than that, you're doing tremendously well. I have had some games where I had a 15-minute blink deso. That's just nuts. If you ever get that and you lose the game, go analyze that replay because you made some mistakes in your decision making. But still, even though I have the Blink Dagger early, my focus is still to win the economic war. Sure, we can go for some pickoffs like this when we have a haste rune. I'm not against that. I want to be aggressive, but the way to win a game is to get strong and farmed. That is really how to win on TA. You need to outfarm everyone and have the highest net worth. I don't have the highest CS, but my net worth is much higher than Queen's. That is because of Ancients. You know, 104 CS. She probably farmed some small camps or whatever, small creeps in the jungle. And meanwhile, I've been farming the big ones that give so much more gold. So net worth wise, we're pulling ahead. And already having 2 Mithril Hammers at 17, you know that you're gonna have the Desolator before 20, which is a very good time. After Desolator is finished up though, I want to skip ahead here again. You're in this stage of the game. 20 minutes in, you have your Deso, you have your Blink, and you can go for fights now. This is really the time to fight. No one is strong enough to one-on-one you. And most supports die instantly. This guy even, he wastes his Blink here, he's instantly dead. Queen dies in 2 hits to a Desolator Blink TA. Sure, she didn't have strength threads there, but she would still die in 2 hits. She was pretty far away from living to the second one. So, with this build, around 20 minutes, play aggressive, look for kills while you're farming. So, side traps will now act as, how to say, it's like a little alarm signal, yeah? Put them down on spaces where you think the enemy will pass, and they will signal to you when you can go for a kill. It's sort of like being a spider, sitting in your web, and just suddenly you see something on the minimap for a second, look over, go there, kill it. It's pretty much how you play it. As for the next item, when you're in this stage, what would you buy? They don't really have heroes that you necessarily need BKB against, but they do have the silence, they do have the lift, which could mess you up, and even just the poison touch can't be applied to you at all if you have BKB on already. So, should you go BKB or should you go for something else? And this is a question that you will find yourself asking this very often, because it's a tricky one. And almost always I go for BKB unless there's very low incentive. But if I don't go for BKB, my item is 100% Daedalus. Never MKB. Even against teams that have like Laser on the Tinker, for example, in that previous game, I didn't go for MKB against that. Even if the team has Windrunner, I don't go for MKB. I go Daedalus because it's so much more damage. Daedalus will crit your bonus damage from Refraction, and you already have a ridiculous amount of damage just with these items. Add up the Daedalus on top of it and crit all that damage, you deal about 900 damage. That is amazing. MKB of course gives some more reliability, but you don't need to be reliable on TA. You need to burst people, you need to kill them fast. That is the most important thing. So if the enemy have evasion and you want to counter it, the only one that I would really counter is PA. All other heroes, just go for Daedalus every time. Of course, BKB if you have to get it. That's super important. I think we talked enough about itemization though. That's really everything. We went over the matchup again, how to lane against the Queen, and primary focus during the laning stage, as I said, is to not die. That's super important. If you die early on, you might just be screwed. You don't want to get in a level disadvantage to your enemy, and dying also stops your farming quite a lot. So for the love of God, try to be safe playing TA. Stay on your high ground as much as you can. Pull the aggro of the creeps closer to the high ground by attacking the enemy hero and stepping back. You run up to your the enemy creeps, attack the enemy hero, step back. That's gonna pull the creeps closer to you. Stay safe on the laning stage, don't die. Try and farm up as much as possible. Every single time you last hit, try and align a Psyblade onto the enemy hero. Even if you don't land it every time, it's gonna make them run back and forth, and it really messes with their mind. It's gonna be harder for them to do this and check the minimap, for example. Their overall awareness should be going down laning against the TA. If they're not disturbed by you being a TA on the lane, you're doing it wrong. You need to be aggressive, even if you can't kill. And you will be surprised, sometimes you can even land a kill on someone just by sideblading. And it's the most rewarding feeling, killing a Viper or something with only sideblades before you have level 6. It shouldn't happen, but you know, I've seen a lot of things in Dota that shouldn't happen. They still happen every so often. So I'm gonna skip back here a little bit because this fight we can use as an example. I want to talk about targets in team fights and how to take the fights as TA. Granted, we are super farmed now. It's not hard to take a fight when you're in this position. But anyway, we still need to go over how to take a fight and what to do. So I'm gonna go into my player perspective, what I'm looking at in this fight. So there is the bristleback in there, and he is not really your ideal target. I want to get behind and blink the other targets. That's why I'm trying to stay outside of the bristleback quill spray. But when Axe calls him, I decide that sure, we're committed, let's kill him. We go for that and just proceed. Overall though, in most fights, you really want to... I didn't expect that we would focus the bristleback in this fight, but it was a very chaotic one. In most fights, your primary goal should be to focus the weak supporters. Support heroes is your food. They die to 1 or 2 auto attacks. You should be trying to go for Rubik or Dazzle in this game primarily. You could maybe kill the Juggernaut as well and reward your team with that big kill. But if you're not gonna kill supports, I think you should go for a Queen. Hold your blink ready and go for Queen as soon as she uses her blink and she's dead. She can't get away. That's why I think he should have gone for the Yule Scepter build in this game. That would have made him safe even against me. Oh wow, they have side traps on Roshan as well. God damn it. But yeah, overall, TA is a hero that abuses supports. Because of her high damage, she can kill core heroes quite fast, but the supports will always be there to bail them out. They will either force stab them or disable you somehow because you don't buy BKB like a noob, or just in general mess with you. So try and close distance to the supports. Here, when you have Aegis though, things change. You can go aggressive, just face tank a lot of stuff. I don't think we can say much more from this game, by the way, so let's just skip it. Yeah, once again, want to pressure the point of utilizing Psyblades. We're gonna look at one more early game and just see if we can show what I'm talking about. Let's go back to, I don't know which game we were playing. I have no idea which game this is, but in general I should be doing the same thing in pretty much every game. Oh, the replay expired. Damn, gonna have to take one more recent game. Let's just take this game. Which is this? Okay, we're laning against the Shadow Fiend. So this is a very good example. This is a lane that you should be winning. I don't like it though. Somehow I don't like laning against Shadow Fiend. Don't ask me why. It's just not my thing. I guess I'm bad at playing against the hero. But same thing again. Same as against the Queen. Go Wraithband first. Get to your lane. I'm very likely gonna skill Sideblades on level 1. I normally wait though and see if, you know, if I need the refraction. Because sometimes you get ganked on level 1, you want to stay safe. See if we can win the block. The block is super important, so try and do your very best on blocking. Sometimes, you know, it doesn't go as we want, but if you can get your high ground, that is really the way to win. I don't really get high ground, but I do get slight advantage. And again, Sideblade level 1, because at this position, I can just be harassing him. Trying to get all the last hits as well, of course. You have pretty good damage with this build, should be mentioned. So you shouldn't have to rely on refraction to get all the kills. And as soon as he tries to run away, we can land some easy, cheeky Sideblades maybe. Play aggressive. Try and refract when you get tower attacks on you. They hurt so much. And this is just different from the overall style that I see everyone play TA. If you go for refraction level 1 and just last hit, sure, you might win the CS, but the enemy's gonna be 100% HP. There's no way he's gonna take any damage at all, and I don't like that idea. I like to put as much damage into my enemy as possible. Again, the tower hits are annoying. I tanked a little bit too much tower hits there. Yeah, this guy is gonna struggle. I think I remember this game. Mighty MacGyver is a 6k player, and they have some other really high MMR player as well. The SF, as a success, was not a very high MMR player, and he makes some bad decisions, like fighting me right here. is not gonna work. I almost get him with the side blades, trying always to get them big kills, but he will struggle. So we already showed what I wanted to show on this lane. Just level 1 side blade, be aggressive, try and always position for side blades when you're last hitting. So if he's down here, I want to be standing up here. You know, even now when the creep's getting on the tower, we might get a side blade there. If he runs up here, it's gonna get side bladed. Dealing damage is important. So other than these things, other than how to lane, oh, this is really bad actually. He found an invis. I think I'm dead here. Mighty MacGyver had an invis rune and I didn't see that he got it. Damn you, Mighty! Damn you. Other than these things, the primary thing that I want to talk about is focus in team fights later on. So let's skip ahead to when we have Blink Dagger and some team fights erupt. And just see if I can expect myself to do what I wanted. So rune control, get the rune, stay high HP. Saw low HP anti-mage, but he had friends. So sorry if this time of the video is a little bit just me looking for stuff to talk about, but it's to show exactly what I mean. Any target in this game that you want to jump should be Sky or SF or Windrunner after she uses Windrun or AM after he uses Blink. These are the targets. Screw Axe, never go on Axe unless he's the only one that you expect to be able to kill at that time. However, you can kill Axe pretty fast. If he jumps in, you could just Melt Strike him and surprise him with how much damage he's going to take, because it adds the 200 bonus damage. The armor reduction basically doesn't do any big difference to his 40 armor from the call, but you shouldn't be trying to kill Axe. That is a last resort. So, having Blink Dagger, we're posing for fights, we want to take them. Rupture goes down on Windrunner, so fight is guaranteed to break out. I try and go on the SF first here. He has a Yule Scepter. I think he should have used it on me, and he does. My team goes in. I'm in the air, doing nothing. Windrunner is pretty much dead, and nothing more happened. Sadly, not the biggest fight. But in this game, the primary target, if you can, is always going to be Sky, because he has an amazing damage output and a really, really squishy hero. One armor base is nothing. Here, I sort of get run into by an Axe, but he doesn't want to fight me, I don't want to fight him. I just meld, he calls me and TP's out. That's a nice thing to know, by the way. If you meld and you get called by Axe, the meld strike is gonna go. Like, it is gonna hit him. So even if you're trying to hide from an Axe and he wants to bring you out, he's not gonna cancel your meld, he's just gonna proc your meld. That's how he brings you out. Compared to some other heroes like Darkseer with his vacuum is gonna bring you out of the meld by moving you. If you have any questions in chat regarding decisions or ways I play it or specific matchups on TA, feel free to ask, because right now I covered everything that I want to cover. Covered item builds, covered skill builds, covered matchups in general, and what to focus on in the early game and in the mid game. So I feel like I've said most of the things that I have to. Skywrath gets 2 armor at level 16 with no items. Yes. What are her weaknesses? I'm a little bit more reluctant to sharing this, but okay. Okay, I'll do it. So let's talk about weaknesses for TA. Other than the obvious of being countered by specific heroes, I have said Queen is a counter, Viper is a counter, Jakiro, Huskar, Razor are all counters. Sniper is a counter to TA. Only in the laning phase though, but he can win really hard in the laning phase. Other than the counters to TA, what is her weakness? Her weakness is that she needs to get pretty close and personal with her enemies. She always does. That's why Blink Dagger helps you, because you close the distance fast without people having time to react. But just the fact that you need to get so close to the enemy can sometimes result in getting called into SF ulti, anything like this. So you need to be very careful about your positioning. Understanding of positioning is very much the most important thing about TA. That is absolutely the most important thing. How would I play out a mid matchup against Viper? Would I just get experience and stack a lot, or catch up, or try to get a lot of the lane? Okay, let's try and find... I don't know if anyone has picked Viper against me recently. Let's try and find a game where I played TA against Viper for you. Because it's a matchup that I would happily show you. I just don't know if I have a replay of that. Let's see. Someone can look on my Dota buff as well if there's a recent game where I played it. I know I didn't play in any of these, and replays do expire, so it's kind of sad. None of these games are against the Viper. This game is against the Storm. I honestly think I don't have a replay of it, because these old games are gonna have expired, as you see. I can make a complimentary video on how to play TA against Viper next time I lane against one, okay? But let's say it like this. Against a Viper, what you want to do is the same against the Queen. You want to align for the side blade always. You want to be even more active at pulling creeps, because he's gonna be running up close to you, so you need to pull the creeps back so that you still have creeps between you and him. It's super important that you have creeps between you and the Viper. Do not run up and try to man-fight Viper straight on, because he will win that fight. He is stronger. But you need to have creeps and sideblade him. That way, you also ignore his corrosive skin. You also ignore his armor. You penetrate all of this by having sideblades, because it is pure damage. It's damage that cannot be reduced, because it's the same amount of damage as the damage you dealt to your primary target. When you hit a creep, it takes a certain amount of damage because he has low armor, and then you're gonna spill that much to everyone who's behind him. You can even sideblade the courier, so if the courier comes out, try and get that. It's a nice little thing. Wow, a lot of questions right now. Let's see if we can answer something. I always have problems when playing against a Pudge who gets early blink. Any ideas what to do? Well, if he gets early blink, then he farmed a lot or killed a lot already. I think at that stage you have more issues than what to decide to do. But on the laning stage against the Pudge, I would start off buying a Bracer and Tangos and get pooled Tangos as well, and just try to kill him. You might want to max melt against the Pudge, because he has so little armor and he will close distance to you. So at least 2 points in melt is very important. Waga, how about your YouTube TA guide? How it goes? You mentioned it last day. It's what I'm doing right now, my friend. This is the YouTube TA guide. If you stay versus Zeus, do you buy stick? Yes, definitely. Okay, someone found a game where I play against Viper, but I simply don't think the replay exists anymore. Let's see if we can find and watch this game. Let's filter the game by ID, apply. Oh, the replay exists! Okay, well I kind of spoiled a lot there, but let's show this then. So this is something I really want. Oh, I don't know if they put... No, they put Sniper mid this game. I remember this game. Fuck! Yeah, I thought I was gonna play against the Viper mid this game. To be honest, I think he even picked the Viper before I picked... Yes, he did. And I picked TA into it because I was confident that I was gonna beat him in lane. But then they last pick Sniper and steal the lane from him, so... so nothing to see here, sadly. Sadly, they didn't put the Viper mid. Put the Sniper. Sniper is tougher to lane against though, I can tell you. Like, the shrapnel is no joke. Do I play with auto attack on or off? It's off. Always off. Waga, I know you liked Skadi on TA last patch. Why don't you build it now? because it has changed from going to the drums Yasha face boots build into rushing blink early and going Desolator. Because of this, Skadi is obsolete. If you were still going for the face boots drums Yasha, going into the full size Yasha Skadi is very natural transition from the core of drums and Yasha. And chasing people down that way was effective. You're really tanky. You don't deal too much damage, but you're super tanky and man-fighty. But I have leaned over to being the assassin hero. You know, that is what I'm trying to play now. Just the assassin style, jump in, kill one fast, and get out. That is the primary focus. Again, you need to think about that. When you play TA now in this patch and go Blink Desolator, you're not a warrior. You don't run up to someone and say, hey, you and me, let's go. And your team supporting you and my team supporting me. That's not how you play it. You run into Fog of War, try and use your side traps to get vision on the enemy first, then jump in, kill someone fast before they can react. If you play against, for example, a Bane, I know I played against it yesterday, I think. If you play against a Bane, try and jump him with your Desolator, land a Melt Strike, and one more attack. He's dead. Every single time. Unless that's a super farmed Bane for whatever reason, he dies to 2 hits. And sure, he can Nightmare, he can even Fiend Script you, but most of the time they don't have time to react to that. You will kill them very quickly. So that is the idea. Play a assassin style TA. Who is the best TA counter? Probably Doom. I mean, Doom turns off any hero, so if you want to ask who's the best counter, I would say Doom. But that also is kinda flawed logic because Doom is countered by TA in the sense that Refraction doesn't get purged, I believe. When he dooms you, Refraction stays on for a little while, which is really useful. But getting out of position and getting doomed or something is really terrible. So that's pretty much it, I think. That's pretty much what I wanted to cover with my TA. You guys have some more questions. I'm going to ask a few of them. Answer a few of them just to make sure that we cover as much as possible in this guide. But this is pretty much my guide to TA. Let's see, what are you saying? Why do you build face boots instead of power treads? I already have said it previously in this guide. Face boots are simply too good early on in the game compared to power treads, and that is why they are so crucial. Face boots allow you to chase people down at level 6 with your side traps. They allow you to quickly move between stacks and stack your ancients and stack your big camps. And they also allow you to control runes slightly better. Sure, bottle and treads is very nice because you can tread toggle and get more out of it, but if you're not getting the rune in the first place, your treads are not gonna do much for you. So this is important. The guide will be going up on my YouTube, so it will be on Waga Gaming on YouTube. If you missed most of this guide, you can find it there. As soon as the stream is over, it should be there. Winter Wyvern is pretty good against TA. He can slow you and stun you and save the target you're going on. That is true. Winter Wyvern is a bitch. What about lineups that are considerably more tanky? Is Blink still a good item? Yes, Blink is still a good item because you want to pick your victim. That is the mentality you need to have. You need to pick your victim. Choose who you kill. You don't want to build TA with the idea that, okay, I'm gonna run into anyone on their team and fight that guy and hopefully win. You want to pick them apart, especially in a 5-on-5 engagement. You want to blink in, take the weakest target, kill him first, or the target with the best disable, you know? That's why Bane was a good example earlier, because he has tremendous impact if you don't focus him. But you need to pick your target, so Blink Dagger is important. Have I already talked about Manta style? I have very limited love for Manta on TA. I think it's decent. I don't think it's that strong. Your illusions simply don't do that much. They don't get the Sideblade effect. They don't have refraction. They don't get the melts, obviously. And hell, they don't even get the Desolator. So your illusions are simply just agi heroes with a very minimum range, and they're not impressive in any regard. So on TA, Manta is not a massive item, no. Does Psyblade split onto Winter Wyvern protected targets? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. The Psyblades are key to learning TA. If you want to play a good TA, my number one recommendation, I'm going to leave this as my last bit of tip for people on this guide. My number one tip for learning TA is to do what I'm doing right now. Go to Dota, create lobby, enable cheats, alt pick, go in, create it, host, start game. Pick TA, skill Psyblade level 1, no items, whatever. Go mid lane, learn to last hit with her base damage. Some people are going to be like, oh, but you always have a Wraith Band or whatever. Sure, buy a Wraith Band if you want, but learn how to last hit without having refraction on. That is the most important thing. You know, you can do this if you like. You can do this and feel that you have exactly the same circumstance as in a normal game. Same damage, same items, and then just go down mid lane. Normally you don't need to spawn creeps. You can just you don't need cheats actually normally, but I just have very low patience. Else you would have to wait for some time. So the idea behind doing this is that when you're last hitting, try to learn to always Psyblade stuff that you want. Learn to aim it, you know? Because some people struggle a lot with even a simple thing as farming the melee creep and the range creep. Like, they try to get this, which won't... Okay, actually, this, which won't Psyblade at all. It's pretty easy to Psyblade now, compared to way back. But learn what will Psyblade and what won't Psyblade, and use it to your advantage. But just going in, doing these exercises will learn you exactly how to aim your Psyblade. Also, this is an important thing. I guess I didn't talk about this. We can do this. So on TA, let's just what's gold up? Let's just say this. When you're farming jungle, this is one mistake people don't think about. You go in, you want to farm, and like, if you're standing close, you can always Psyblade, even melee creeps. See? These are two melee creeps. They stand behind each other anyway, because I'm so close to them. Let's see what camp we get here. Any camp is fully Psybladeable. There's no camp that you should only be hitting two of the creeps. You know, like, oh, this is effective farming, let's do this. No. No, no. Run close, stand like this, close to a creep, and Psyblade. Same thing when he summons these little skeletons. You can just use them to Psyblade. It's a little bit hard to get both the skeletons in every attack, but that doesn't matter, because this guy's gonna be tanky. But every single attack should be hitting as many targets as possible. So even when you're farming this, you know, first thing you want to do is align so that you get like this, and you hit everyone. That is gonna increase your farm speed.
The temple requires.
Even the ogres, 3 melee creeps, doesn't matter. Right there, you have a position where you Psyblade everything. So that was probably my last tip. What is happening here? Waga teaching TA? Yes, I was doing a TA guide. It is now done. I'm gonna restart my stream, guys, and start playing some Dota. This is all I wanted to share. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be right back. Stream will be on in just a second, and we're gonna play Dota again.